Hello. I think my stuff's messed up. That. Now you should be able to hear me.
Hello.
All right. So I don't know if anyone's here. If not, that's okay. We're going to watch some FOSDEM bots.
Hello.
To find folks and connect and talk about everything you've been learning at FOSDEM. And with that, thank you. I've got Pepe here to talk about public spaces.
Thank you. Well, not mostly public spaces. I work for public spaces. Public spaces.
Have you muted? Is your mic muted? It's on the.
It's not muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on muted. Okay.
Can everybody hear you okay?
Everybody hear me okay? Yeah. I'll just speak up. I work for Public Spaces, is a network organization in the Netherlands of 40 public organizations, mostly cultural
Can you hear
organizations.
that okay, Logan?
Broadcasters, but we widen it out. Probably we have
This mic seems to be a bit
municipalities
quieter.
and, organizations of public health, because
Right.
all these
Oh.
organizations work for one common goal.
Seems like this mic needs to go straight in at the end, so I'll need to learn. Maybe I need to get closer to it. It's a different mic now. It's like a new arm and things.
We started a program called the Next Socials because we see these organizations, we see public broadcasters, we see.
What's up, Fractal? How's it going, sir?
Organizations in public health, we see organizations in education, all having the same sort of needs. We need a community platform. We need a social platform. We need a way to communicate with our.
Agree with
audience,
this.
With our municipality, with our, and to make sure they don't make choices that would bite each other, would feed off each other, that they work together. We started a program called the Next Socials to bring all those energy in the Netherlands.
The Next Socials. What is this? Okay, so this is
And we
Netherlands.
talk to these people a lot.
Publicspaces.net.
Actually do research, actually get some data from them. So what we did is we have these 40 organizations in our network. We made a selection of 10 of these organizations and we just did a little interviews with them, 15 minutes interviews about what do you need from this Fediverse and why don't you use it? Because we see the adoption is slow. There's a lot of willingness, but there's not a lot of energy. So what happens, I mean, we all have a gut feeling about this, but we didn't have any data. So what we did is, we asked them, I did 13 little interviews, and asked them first, what Fediverse tools do you use? Well, 42% of these organizations, and mind you, this data doesn't say anything about all public organizations or all public organizations in the Netherlands. This is just the opinion of 10 of the front runners or 9 of the front runners in the Netherlands. So of these people, 42% used Mastodon, 70% used PeerTube, 8% used PixelFed, and 32% used none of these platforms at all. So, okay, we were kind of expecting this, but we wanted to know why. What are the main reasons for your organization not yet working with these Fediverse tools?
Yields compared to
the yields in comparison
commercial
to
platforms.
We put in a lot of effort, but we don't know what we're going to get out of it. We only have a small department for communication. We have limited resources. The thing you probably all know. The second one is also, compared to that, we don't have enough time, we don't have enough capacity, and then there's some insufficient knowledge in-house, and there's some familiarity.
That other's pretty big. That other's a bit scary.
We're not sure about the yield of these platforms. So since this is a technical platform, we ask you what technical improvements will most accelerate the adoption for your organization, which is closely related to the first question, as more discoverability, more findability, more easier ways to build our networks. By far, 30% of the organization, that's the main issue we're running into. And there's some issues about usability, there's some issues about installation. Interestingly here is, it's not a technical thing. Almost nobody said that we need more devs, we need more technical stuff. So that's a good thing. It's mostly an organizational thing. Now, what challenges do you encounter most often when using these Fediverse tools? Well, not surprisingly, public, audience, numbers, priority, building our networks. It's more or less internet.
Which we all know.
But there's one thing we also
discoverability.
Kind of sort of expected. Support.
But the problem is, I would see the thing about this is, and I don't know inside statistics or anything, but what is the turnover rate when someone has a budget and gives money to Google, right? My camera did the thing again. Yes, you can go and see your ad is out there, but what kind of foot traffic does that push through? Outside of the outliers of we just went viral kind of a thing. So I'm very curious as to what the discoverability on the standard web actually looks like. I would love to know numbers. Because my guess is not really good. Because from some of the things that I'm hearing, a lot of customers are starting to pull back on internet advertising because it's just not producing the effects for the amount of money that they're sending into it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I talk to these type of organizations. Our ICT department doesn't support it, so we can't use it. We were sort of kind of expecting them to say this, so we already got a question. So what kind of support do you need?
The dog's going nuts. What is that called? Return on investment.
This data doesn't really coincide with what we know, because we have accepted we need access to a help desk, we have access to technical support, we need, but they also said, well, we need training for employees, and we need exchange with other public institutions to get some knowledge, some examples, some best practices. And again, the IT part isn't really that interesting here. What we did is, I'm going to go back. We already knew this. We already knew people need access to a help desk. So what we started last week at Public Spaces is a help desk for the Fediverse. So when you go to
a good Google Ads return on investment will vary by industry, business model, and campaign objectives. However, as a general rule of thumb, here are some benchmarks. E-commerce. A good return on investment is often between 200 to 400%, meaning you're earning $2 for every $4 you spend. That's not 2 to 400. Unless they mean $2 on top of the $4. Yeah, this article is suspect. I don't know that. We're watching FOSDEM videos. Esoteric programmer, and letting me know how the new mic is.
Public Spaces webnet has a little round button with the Fediverse logo.
I feel like I have to be right up on it.
All public organizations in the Netherlands can ask us any and all questions about the Fediverse to get this part out of the way. Our help desk doesn't support us, we'll do your help desk. See what that does for us. Then we ask them the other way around. What could public organizations do to help these developers? So not just you as developers helping public organizations.
This is Public Spaces.
What they do to help you. And we saw that almost 30% of the
Good. Thank you, Lefractal.
Financial organizational support. There's a lot of willingness within these organizations to get
when your brother gets home.
The organization. For instance, I spoke to the municipality of Amsterdam, and they switched from WhatsApp to Signal. And he said, well, WhatsApp, we had a business model there. We paid for that. Signal, we paid nothing. So we decided
Excuse me, sorry.
To give, what was it? 50 cents per user to Signal per year. The municipality of Amsterdam has 15,000 employees, so that's 7,500 euros. They doubled it, so they give 15,000 euros to Signal every year.
That's huge.
Those type of constructions are really willing to do. So that's something we could learn from. I think I switched.
When people, and it's funny though, because like, I've talked to people and they're like, well, what does it cost per user? It's like 50 cents per user. And they're like, well, that's really nothing. That doesn't make a difference. Yes, right now it's 0. Any makes a difference. And 50 cents per user, like that, I've been talking to people. That's normally how these business deals are done, by the user. In a lot of places, if they're like, oh, we'll take 50 cents out of each person that signs up for your thing, and they're like, oh yeah, that's reasonable. And you look at it's like $250 a month or whatever. And even then, these folks are usually open to it. No, it's not in like 1 hour. It's in 10 minutes. He gets home in 10 minutes, dude. Okay? Huh? All right, thank you. Sorry, my son's talking to me.
The other one over here. So what are the main reasons for not using it? For public organizations, it's also a judicial thing. There's no compliance. We need a ISO certificate.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, we need a. So that's another issue for these organizations to adopt it. So, takeaways from this talk, since I have only 1 minute left. The most important thing for these public organizations: visibility, usability, building a network. That's the thing.
See, here's the difference with where I'm at with this. So findability, visibility, helping build networks. I'm looking at this as a point of small communities build their own. So when you find your community, local, at a church or at a school or whatever, that solved that problem. Right? He's specifically talking about, from what it sounds like, the standard model, the standard commercial model we have now. Why doesn't Pepsi come to the Fediverse? Why don't they run their own? Yes, I understand that. Curlman was the highlight of FOSDEM. Can you link it? I don't think I grabbed that one. I know you sent it to me or told me I should watch it, and I haven't yet.
That's holding them back most. They need support.
Support's a big one. We could definitely do that.
Offer support. And the other way around, they're also helping, willing to give you support. So reach out to them.
Yeah.
They're willing to help you to pay.
If you can show, everyone is sick of this. If you can show that it works to these people and say, let's just try it, I really think it's going to surprise a lot of people, because I've been in the corporate environment. All the software is shit. And it's expensive.
Help the developers grow. And then the last one, compliance. Make sure you have ISO certification, do DPS, have all sorts
compliance is a big one. That'd be really difficult.
Feeling of trust, and nothing goes wrong with these Fediverse tools. That's all I have time for, unfortunately. Feel free to reach out. I'll be around here somewhere. Look at the Public Spaces website. Take our newsletter. We have a Mastodon chat.
That's a good one.
Chat room. And thank you.
Any questions? Looks like we probably have one or two questions.
We immediately have a question here, and that's the only one we'll take for this session.
Thank you. I wonder on compliance. GDPR compliance and data protection impact assessment. I was expecting it would be very standard across all the instances. Yeah. Is that, or do you see some variation and variety?
No, it's mostly that for public organizations. I spoke to an organization that does IT service for secondary education. We can't have this go wrong. I have to prove to my boss that we won't have data leaks. We have to have some form of certainty. And it doesn't really matter what type of certainty it is. It could be any type of certification, any type of certainty or fake certainty you can give to these organizations would help, especially these public organizations.
Back to drinking. Have fun.
Because if they don't have it, they will never adopt it.
Yeah, I agree with that. These companies, they actually don't, the companies, the biggest thing they want is someone to blame. To be honest, if something's not working, they need to get someone on the phone to figure it out so they know that either you fix it X way or we are working on a fix Y way. Companies don't want to spend time on this. They want to know someone is there to fix it for them. That was that one. I don't know where curl's at. If someone knows where the curl one is at, I'd be more than happy to look at it. Oh, emissary in the Fediverse. Ben Pate. This is a long one. Ben Pate's awesome. You folks don't know Ben Pate. Before this goes, Ben Pate, and he says something in here which I'm going to steal. This is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I'm going to work, I'm going to have kids, and I will be doing this. Unless it explodes and takes off and doesn't need it anymore, at which time I'll find something else to do, I think, in this. This is what I'll be doing the rest of my life. Yeah. But Ben's awesome. If you guys don't know him, he created Emissary in order to create Bandwagon, which is a indie self-hosted Fedi-powered platform. Sorry, I'm just checking here. The Fediverse is Bandcamp, yeah. Then there's Bandwagon, which Ben handled, and then there's Bearcamp, which is not ActivityPub powered, but it is self-hosted static site generator. Excuse me, sorry. And it's funny because at FOSDEM they actually sent me a picture showing both of them and saying it looks like nobody won because we didn't fight. And I said, or did we all win?
Really, my honor and pleasure to introduce our last speaker, who is
esoteric programmer, and that's why it's taking so long.
To know a tiny bit on the Fediverse.
He wants to make it as easy as possible, right? A lot of these folks do.
And his general enthusiasm for making cool stuff to solve problems, which I think is something that a lot of us relate to. So, Ben, you are the final speaker.
Sorry, I just smacked my headset on the mic.
Day that we've had at FOSDEM.
Yeah.
I believe it may also be your first time in this part of the world.
The whole continent, yeah.
Yeah, so really warm welcome, please, everybody, for Ben. I'll leave it to it.
Thank you.
James is timing.
Okay, awesome. Hi, I'm Ben.
Let me know if you guys can't hear it.
I'm
Seems like it might be low.
A bunch of projects, and it doesn't all make sense when I try to explain it. So this presentation kind of is going to wander a lot, and I apologize, but I know it's going to come back around eventually in the end, and I hope it makes sense to you guys, because it makes sense to me when I go to sleep. I'm the creator of Emissary, which is a Fediverse server. It's open source. Anyone can install it. And Emissary is the platform that other services can run on top of, and I'll show you a couple of those. The news of the world is dark, and I put that directly in the hands of social media and the internet. And
Me
the
too.
good thing about going last in a day like this is everyone's already said all the cool things. I can just kind of put them together a little bit. I really think that distributed networks are the way out.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, esoteric programmer. Yes.
way out.
See, here's the thing. I know people hate those kinds of distinctions. They hate having those, oh, well, you're splitting hairs now. I love it. I love it. I want more of it. Let's have those kinds of conversations for two reasons. One, we're developing the language, or we're all getting to know the technologies, and that matters. That conversation matters. And two, again, you're having the conversation. That means people care. That means people are passionate about it. That means it takes one person walking by that gets that earwig. Let's have those conversations. Let's not be rude and ignorant about it, right? Like, oh my God, you're just so wrong. Like, who cares? It's language. But let's have the conversations. Let's have the KDE's better than GNOME. At the end of the day, we all get to pick whatever one we want. Right now, we don't have the choice. This is giving us the choice. Let's have these conversations.
It's the one thing I'm going to work on
Respectfully.
in my life, because I need to feel like I'm doing something to make things better. There's a scene in Lord of the Rings where Frodo has just been... Oh, we all speak High Elvish here? Yeah. Okay, good.
No.
Sindarin. I'll translate for the normies, but I figured that there's this one scene where Frodo has just been given this horrible task, and he's like, I don't want to do this. And Gandalf says, well, we don't really get to choose. But we can choose what we do with the time that's given us. And so that is what I want to do. I want to choose what I'm going to do with the time that's given me. This is another thing that really sticks in my head a lot. I went out and counted, not everybody, but I went to Google, and there's 8 billion people. And so when I look at what I want to do with the time that's given me is I think that the Fediverse should serve everybody.
Yep. If you want to be on it, be on it. If you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. But we need to give everyone the possibility to have this.
Thank you for clapping so much, because that's not always met with like cheers. There's a lot of people who have really good reasons to want to keep things small. They came here. I feel like we're a network of misfits and outcasts. And
that's the tech program. I have no idea. But yes, I agree. And that is good that Element
keep it small. I say no,
has accessibility. It sounds like others have now.
Because you can't just make something beautiful and then keep it to yourself. You know, if this is worth what we say it's worth, if it is as good and the force for change that we want it to be, then it has to be available to everybody. We can't afford to just serve 1% of the population. And at this point right now, if every Fediverse server in the world 10 times its number of users, we would serve maybe 1% of the population. That's not enough. So
Hey.
So what do we do? This is a model for the technology adoption.
What's up, baby?
It's pretty well understood that how...
So, waiting for the bus, because I have to go get my youngest son off the bus. And they're going to relax for a bit. And then I'm going to have to do dinner. So, Bork. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Logo, you're going to meet the Borker. Oh, and Logo, the candy that I have from Jen, I'm sure it's going to be here by the time you get here. So I can save some for you. Not that, again, I have to save anything. But also fun, I get a second mic. So now I have 2 mics. And we can have a Fireside Fetty, or we can do the software install live, or whatever you want, or just stream live. Yes, check your mailbox. Go check it. So just giving you guys a heads up, I am going to have to pause for about 10, 15 minutes and come back once I get my kid off the bus.
People come into using any sort of new technology. There's this thing called the chasm, which basically represents this idea that different groups of people need different things out of every new kind of technology. And in Fediverse terms, the innovators are you guys. And then the next group of people coming down the line wanting to use this, they're going to need different things out of the software than what you need out of it. Innovators fall in love with the technology themselves, but early adopters, they look for new stuff, but I got to have a good use case for it. So what's preventing the Fediverse from crossing that chasm? Fortunately, we've seen many other software packages, platforms that don't cross the chasm. I asked Google, why did you fail? And the answers were the same across the board for all of these, and I double-clicked it, so you missed my cool animation. But they all failed for the same 4 reasons. Low user engagement, user experience issues, lack of a killer feature, and operational failures.
And I actually, so I've watched this. Yeah, Kat, he knows. I'm pretty sure Ben knows. But it's one of those things that you have to be careful correcting someone when they pronounce something wrong, because usually they've only ever read it and they attempted to pronounce it in their head. I used to call it chasm as well, because it's CH. It's a ch sounding American. So he's showing, why did Google, what was it, Google Plus? Okay, my son just left. Google Plus. Why did it fail? And he says low user engagement, user experience issues, lack of a killer feature, and operational failures. I would argue, though, low user engagement means what? Right? Is that what it's called? Google Plus? Right? Whatever this, it had circles, their social network. I would say, what is low user engagement? Because again, the amount of people on the Fediverse right now, Google wouldn't care. They would call that low user engagement, right? But to us, it matters. What you
I want to focus on the first three because I'm so short of time. I'm already like 5 minutes behind. But if we put these into a little chart and we say, well, what can we do about each one of these things? Here's my proposal. I think user engagement requires compelling content. There's also relationships and are my friends there and everything else, but they've got to have a reason to come to this this network. And I think that user experience...
You're so bored you're doing chores.
...judge across the entire Fediverse. User experience isn't just what color of blue are you using for your button.
Right.
It is...
Right. Esoteric programmer. Google was trying to force their own services into people's faces, which is not what they wanted. So Ben's not wrong. I would just have more questions, which I'm pretty sure he would agree with the same points and sentiments, but he's trying to do a presentation and boil it down to brass tacks, as they say. But my son's bus is here, so I will be back in about, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. My producer over there nodded, so yes, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. My camera is right there. There we go. Come on, camera. Okay.
How do I get from point A to point B? And killer features have to be something that the big networks can't replicate. It's a fundamental structural thing that they can't do because they're always going to outgun us. They're always going to have more people and resources and time and everything else. So we have to come up with something that fundamentally a centralized network can't do. So I feel like I know about this a little bit. I didn't talk too much about my projects yet, but Bandwagon is a site for musicians to post their content. And through Bandwagon, I talk to hundreds of musicians, and they all have really the same thing. They want to sell their stuff online. They're working, maybe they just want to pay for the new guitar, maybe they're trying to make this their side gig, but they need to be able to pay, or they need to be able to sell their work in a place that's designed.
And imagine, so again,
isn't going.
For those that don't know, the EU is looking to push a digital wallet where you send money directly to a person based on their phone number. And this would help something like that. Instead of going to Spotify and hoping that your sale goes to them, you can go to their website that has their music on it, directly pay them, and instantly get the content. Why do we have middlemen doing this? Everyone always had the idea, well, only they can do it. That's not true. I would like to know how much money Google actually spends on things like Google search versus how much they spend on getting new and interesting tools to keep you locked in, to keep advertisements rolling. Like Google search, there's no new features in Google search. It hasn't grown almost since it was released, save for SEO optimizations and fighting that kind of stuff. It hasn't grown. Yes, Alphabet has grown and changed, and they started out as Google, but that's not YouTube. They bought YouTube. YouTube hasn't progressed. The only thing that's progressed is now there's more ways to get advertisements. We've actually stagnated in technology. The iPhone's been out since the mid-2000s. There's nothing new there. This brick looks almost exactly the same as the last one. That's not innovation. Companies have strangled innovation.
Isn't going to go down that enshittification rabbit hole. And whenever I mention money on the Fediverse, someone says that this isn't the place for that. But the thing is, it's not about is money on the Fediverse or not. It's more about how do we put money on the Fediverse. We already have
I agree.
ways to pay for things and buy things, everything else. But can we do it in a way that respects people at an individual level and doesn't put the profits for the platform first? When I talk about,
and I think that's the distinction.
Ecosystem,
There's so many people that don't want money on the Fediverse because they think it'll rot it.
Jacob Nielsen was the
If it's going to work, it's going to be there.
monotheistic deity of all of web, all of user experience, and he said that it's a really simple idea, but
Yeah, it basically is a React stream. Yeah, the FOSDEM videos.
Other websites.
Hi, Keen Leaky.
They don't come to your website and want to read the manual, right? And that really hasn't changed. So I think that that same thing applies to the Fediverse, but when people come to the Fediverse, their expectations are formed out there, not on your Fediverse app, not on the client, not on your website. Everything that happens on the web starts out there and then maybe comes to you if you do the right thing. But you can't start with the experience being here or else that user experience dies.
I agree with a lot with Ben, so it's not going to be too many hot takes from what Ben's saying.
I was asking about share buttons and signups and all these things.
So the thing I love about this screen, Ben is showing a presentation that shows all the different share buttons: Black Lives Matter, Blogger, Blue Sky, Buffer, Copy, Diaspora, Dig, Deligo, Dubon, Email, Evernote, Facebook, Fark, Flipboard, and it goes on. And there has to be like 50 here. Does anyone else feel like this reminds them of those internet web browser bars from the late 90s, early 2000s, where you go over to your family's house and they have 50 of them stacked up because they don't know how to get rid of them? It reminds me exactly of that. And no one is happy about this. No one. Yeah, during the browser wars. But it wasn't even just the browser wars. It was like every app you loaded, they wanted their bar to be there so you get back into their system.
Up several times through the day. I went to share this to get their buttons, just as an example of it, and they've even got Dig on there. I don't think that the new platform has launched. They've got this thing called Plurk.
Plurk? Yeah, what is Plurk?
You people know that? Yeah. The hell is Plurk?
Yeah, what is... I
will derail the whole conversation, but what is... Okay.
It was a social network where stuff didn't go up and down. It goes left, side to side.
That was the killer feature? All right. And this, I'll bring it, this is why Emissary exists, because someone wants a side-to-side feed.
yeah, right?
But if...
I want diagonal.
I can't do this with the Fediverse.
It's more...
This has already been pretty well described.
It's more built like your body. What's that called?
Getting something to share or like on the Fediverse from where I already am out on the website, that's very difficult to do. Fortunately, there's this brilliant software developer in the United States. He has been working on something that... So activity intents are my attempt to fix this. And activity intents basically are a way for a server to publish, here's a list of the things that you can get to remotely, and then a client out on the web can post a link that posts the little button that gets me back to the right place on my own server. I don't have to worry about OAuth connections or any other additional APIs. All the interaction happens on my home server, but activity intents connects those things together so that I can get where I need to be.
And this, I love this.
Activity intents is just an example of connecting the Fediverse more.
I love this because what this is talking about is you should be able to be on any site, click the button to share, and directly get to where you can share it. Right now, it's a very cumbersome process. Oh, which I got to copy one of these names and then go over to mine and then share it and then follow there depending on which app I have. And again, this is the benefit. We can have one button. Have all the other millions of buttons you want, but I know that this one button will get me to my server that I can follow on my stuff.
Tightly together. This same idea applies for search, discovery, conversations, all of that stuff. We have to behave like a single organism, not like many interconnected individuals. The last thing on our checklist is...
But it's, I mean, that's life, right? That is literally, we have to act like one whole body while still being individual separate pieces, like a living organism. Like there is nothing more organic than this, but yet the way that they've told us that we have to do this, not Fediverse, but like big tech, is you have to fit in our box right here. And they get to set the rules.
It must be a strategic advantage, and I think that the most strategic advantage...
Right, Ken Leakey, yes.
...is that you're not stuck. You shouldn't be stuck on one particular...
Keen Leakey, you can change your name in the upper right if you want. You don't have to say Keen Leakey. I mean, you can if you want.
...their thing to see their ads and to pay them more money. I don't care if you're using my software or my servers. I just want you on the Fediverse because that is a part of the solution I'm working for.
And that's exactly what I'm going for as well. I don't care. Use mine, use someone else's. You're here.
We can do a better job serving micro-communities with targeted applications. I think that the Fediverse has an opportunity to be something like a universal inbox. And I think we're always going to do a better job of credibility, trust, and safety. But to go back into the freedom to leave, we have this technology right now. We can do this right now, but just people aren't quite implementing it yet. The W3C is working on the LOLA data portability standard, which allows you to pick up your whole profile, all your friends, and move over here to a new server. And if we can get that implemented, I will have QR codes and...
Sorry, give me 1 second. Look up something. Thought I can... Where's the... Never find what I want in this thing. Okay. Keen Leaky. Is that when? Is that why? For Keen Leaky, are you someone new? I can't find what I'm looking for. I don't know if it's on or not. If people like or boost the stream or whatever. Where was that at in here? Not there. It's not there. It has to be in configuration. Right? Oh, is it notifications? Yeah, that's already enabled. Oh, show engagement. That's where it's at. It's under social. Okay. But I also wanted to do something else. Okay, there we go. All right, back to this. Sorry.
Stuff for you at the end. Get out your cameras in a minute. But if we can get that implemented, then we have a strategic advantage that prevents enshittification and actually helps solve the instance chooser sign-up situation where I come in, I don't know where to go. Well, here's a list of 15 servers in your country. With LOLA, all you have to do is start somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You can always move to the server that matches you better when you figure out this whole thing. So that's my checklist. That's what I think would make the Fediverse more competitive and help us to grow in this area. Bring creators, avoid the pitfalls of the past, make lightweight apps for micro communities. Activity Intense FEP 3B08, please implement it.
3B86.
Search and discovery tools.
So, interestingly enough, where was is that the typo? Oh. Idiot-proof app. Yeah, there is no such thing as an idiot-proof app. I literally just started a show about that. I haven't run any episodes yet, but I want to be the idiot and prove that there's no such thing as idiot-proof. So he just said 3B06, but that says 3B86. I wonder if Ben caught that. I hope it's right on the slide deck. Here's his. Should have been after that. I don't know. Where was that now?
Instance chooser sign-up situation where...
Oh, hey, Solid Heron.
I don't know where to go. Well, here's a list of 15 servers in your country. With LOLA, all you have to do is start somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You can always move to the server that matches you better when you figure out this whole thing. So that's my checklist. That's what I think would make the Fediverse more competitive and help us to grow in this area. Bring creators.
Yeah, so Activity Intense would do that, Solid Heron.
Make lightweight apps for micro communities. Activity Intense FEP 3B08, please implement it. Better search and discovery tools, being able to move from server to server, unified inbox for small digital spaces, and better trust and safety. So now let me take a second and show you what I'm doing with the time that I have. The ActivityPub, the Fediverse story usually goes something like, ActivityPub is the core, we've got Mastodon does that for microblogs, PeerTube adds something else for video, and then PixelFed adds something for photos. You can do articles with write freely, but I keep hitting double buttons, I'm sorry. But how much is in the middle? How much is like redone again and again and again? And this is what Fedify is trying to solve. This is what Bonfire is trying to solve. Can we do something that...
So, and Solid Heron, the app would have a hard-coded instance for sign-in. I love having that conversation. What is the right answer? There is no right answer here. But again, the point is, if you don't like this application that gets someone in easier and then lets them know, hey, you have a choice, I don't know what the right way is for that. Some people are going to bounce off one. Some people are going to bounce off the other. That's just how it is. But again, it comes down to the choice. People knowing that they have a choice. Like, yes, that matters to us. Guess what? Your workflow that matters to you, we don't have to change it ever because you can build your own.
that is a little more flexible, because these applications take a lot of extra stuff. There's so much in the middle of there. It takes years to build these applications. And so when you start looking at it in those terms, can't we do something that combines all of these together that maybe doesn't do everything that
my workflow
does,
does suck, you're right.
Enough of a core that we have something we can build customizations on top of. And that's the primary work that I'm doing. It's called Emissary. And I've built several test apps, example apps, and I want to show you a couple of those. Bandwagon is, as I said, it's a site for musicians to post their music. And, right? And everyone has brought tremendous creativity to this. I'm blown away. And in really good Fediverse style, there's some wacky stuff, but people can bring all sorts of music and creativity to the Fediverse. You can share and like online. Bandwagon has a really cool search engine that doesn't just let you look for music, but it lets you, here, let's search for metal. It lets you follow those search results as an activity intent. So right here, I can click this button, and then I will get, essentially, a pop-up that says, do you want to follow this? And you'll get, anytime someone posts on that tag, you'll get those results in your newsfeed.
So cool.
Bandwagon also works with the Indie Beat, which... Go Kirsten!
Yes.
Kirsten is a
fantastic
rock star, and I'm sad that she couldn't come all the way across the ocean to be here. But the Indie Beat Radio is a radio station that's playing music that was opted in by Bandwagon artists. And they even just released a Indie Beat TV, so now they're doing music videos as well.
Yeah.
That's Bandwagon. Then I did Atlas Maps, which is a social mapping app that lets you annotate different places in time and space in the world. I made a demo here of, this is Boulder. Is that the bookstore? Oh, that's Trident. Trident is the best, most hippiest bookstore in all of Boulder. Here's another one. But I can go and put annotations on the map and then share that with my friends. The coolest thing about Atlas Maps is I built this in 6 weeks. And most of that time was actually spent building in a whole bunch of new geolocation services that I hadn't had to use before. So it uses the same federated search engine that I have in Bandwagon. It just looks different because now it's all displayed in a different UX on the map.
It's so cool.
And then I can even share search results in a QR code with a friend, and then they can look at that and follow themselves in this particular place and time. I was also building something called QWERTYlicious, which is going to be something like Patreon or Substack, where you can subscribe to a person, and using the same payment processing that we have in Bandwagon, you can actually buy a Premier feed from that. But then Evan here, we'll talk about that. I think you get the idea. Emissary is one server that does many, many things.
Solid Heron, that's
Each one of
awesome.
those is,
Thank you.
is programmable.
I'm honored by
Basically
that.
post anything
You're, I
want
don't.
on a GitHub,
You're not.
and
I mean,
then
I'm
download that into
trying. I've not
Emissary
done stuff like
and
that. It is
use those
hard, and
templates.
thank you.
It's mostly programming, but it's programming inside of a very tight box. And so I'm trying to make it so that we don't have runaway plugins or processes that we can't quite trust. Everything runs inside of these little action steps that do the actual work. So it makes it really easy for you to mix and match and plug and play the stuff that you want.
See, and here's the thing. Here's the thing that I love about this. Here's the thing that I love about this. Most people don't know this. But Apache, Nginx, there was a point in time they didn't exist. They didn't. Someone had to will them into creation. And that's what we're seeing right now. Like in 10 years, instead of a LAMP stack, Linux, what was it? Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, you might have an emissary stack. Emissary stack, not SAC. And that might be the go-to. And it's going to be people like us having those conversations with others, helping teach them. It's given in the religious text. No, this video is, though. It's just the basis for a new religion that I'll be creating, specifically because of that. And, of course, I will be the Messiah, because that's how the Fediverse should go, is one person at the top. Apache's in the Bible. But this is what we're seeing right now. People don't understand. It's not going fast enough, or it's never going to take off, or it has no traction. We've barely created Gen 1. These guys are creating Generation 2, and people are already working on Generation 3. There are people building the next apps on these apps. This isn't the end. This isn't even the beginning of the end. I don't even know if this is the end of the beginning. Linux is a choose your own adventure. Is there a Cinnabon in your religion? I mean, what candy? Oh yeah, you can have candy. Hang on. All right, I'll be right back. I have to go help my son again. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Can't wait for the Threadiverse stuff to be better. It's getting there. And I just actually talked to the Bonfires guys today, and I'm like, hey, I see Bonfires being like the everything app. Have you guys thought about like the standard default view that you have now, and then you can flip it to like a pictures, like a pixel fed only mode? And they're like, yeah, we've actually talked about having like a picture feed or a forum feed, and you click between them and it completely changes the layout. So you can jump like to the Threadiverse type format, or you can jump to microblogging. I mean, it's two guys doing a lot of heavy lifting, but they've made this in a way that you can like do an extension and do it yourself built on top of theirs. Like, again, like Linux, there had to be the kernel before user space could exist. Oh, Bonfire using Matrix for their crypto? I don't understand. Oh, in their direct messages. Yeah. Well, and I know you have a problem with that, esoteric programmer. And you said, correct me if I'm wrong, you said it's because they're using MLS. Isn't Matrix doing the same thing? Yeah, you said crypto. I thought you meant Bitcoin stuff. I should have known better because we actually know what crypto means. A time screen limiter app. What do you mean, Solid Heron? I don't fully understand.
In 2025, we rolled out the online payments. That uses your own Stripe account. I'm hoping I can have other payment processors in the future. But this is the mechanism that lets us share things or charge for a one-time download or possibly a membership subscription. And then at the end of last year, I rolled out...
No. That's... Okay, I got what you're asking, Solitary. No. Bonfire is the Fediverse server and client app that I use. Look up bonfirenetworks.org, I believe. Yeah, it's bonfirenetworks.org. No. It's not that. Totally different.
As far as I know, the first real implementation of Lola. So I want you to leave my servers. Please go make your own server over there and then use the data portability to pick everything up and put it all down in a new place. I think that is, again, the best thing we could do for the future of the Fediverse. Going forward, there's a lot. There's really a lot. One of the big things that I had planned was to make a better inbox, a better experience for small spaces again, a way to have small communities that stand out from this larger worldwide network that we have. And then Evan came along and said, hey, will you do some end-to-end encrypted messages as well? And so I am
That's really cool.
Excited and kind of honored that I'm doing this, but with funding from the Sovereign Tech Fund, with leadership from the Social Web Foundation, Bonfire and Emissary are going to be building end-to-end encrypted messages. And
so you can imagine what this is, right? So imagine you want to talk to your favorite musician, right? You go to their website, you know it's them. An end-to-end encrypted message. And like, I don't know, just having that everywhere, having it email like system, having a direct message type system where you talk back and forth to people. Like, this is the communication platform that can bring it all together. This can do anything. Should it? No. Will people try? Yes. And we'll kind of laugh at it. But the difference is that is their choice to do it. It probably is their money to do it. We are no longer force-fed things like AI that no one wants in our face. Anti-negative cardboard. I love that name. Welcome. And again, if that person wants their style the way that they want it and they can do it or pay someone to do it, you can have it. It's never going away until you want to let it go.
there's a lot of technical stuff in there, and people all come out with a whole bunch of questions. Well, will it do this or will it do that? The basic thing is that MLS messaging is an industry standard that has been very, very well thought through by people who know so much more cryptography than me. It it is the right kind of foundation to be doing this on, and then we're building it into ActivityPub so that right alongside of my existing network and with my existing contacts, if they support end-to-end encrypted messages, everything is just already E2E. And if not, then we can use regular direct messages. So when I go back to my checklist for 2026, that's what Emissary is doing. And all the things that I believe are going to help us to grow the Fediverse are there. And then I got an extra bonus. Encrypted messaging is another killer feature I hadn't even thought of. So, so that's what I'm doing. It's been a crazy year. I think the last thing I want to leave with is, what can you guys do? And here's the things that I know of that I'm involved in, and if anyone is interested, this is something that we're building right now, and I'm going to put status updates on this page about where we are and what's happening. It will be usable.
Emissary.dev.
Well, it'll be something that we hope other platforms will join us and do this as well as soon as we have worked out how all of the specs go. If you are a developer, know a developer, happen to be the head of communications for a large software platform, I really want you guys to look at activity intents, because I think that this helps bring the Fediverse much more closely together. If you are involved in any software platforms, please, please, please look at data portability. The spec for me was not super easy to look at. It's still a lot of brainstorming, but that's okay. The core ideas are there, and if anyone wants help with this or with any of these, I want to be a resource to try to make these things happen. And then the last thing is, if you are an HTML developer and that's all you know, well, HTML and JSON, but you can build a completely
esoteric programmer, I agree. There's always something better, right? But right now, this is a step. And then you could take Emissary and redo the encryption if you wanted and do it differently if that matters, right? I think this is a massive step. The fact that people can have end-to-end encryption, period, by default, out of the box, it just works, is a huge step. I don't know anything about MLS. I don't know DMLS. You know encryption way more than I do. But it's like, the best way I could look at it, this is like HTTP versus HTTPS. There was a time where HTTP was the default. Unless you were a bank or a hospital or something, you had to verify. And then slowly but surely, everyone is just like, well, we just have to have this. Right? So we knew that HTTPS was the better option, but then people are like, yeah, but maybe not. And then eventually everyone decided, no, for your own good and your own safety, we're basically forcing this to where the web browsers are like, hey, you're going to an HTTP site. That's not okay. Like, and it's become the default. So a step at a time, I'm hoping, with things like that. But yeah, it is a fair, valid point. If MLS is some kind of centralization, that is less than ideal. I will agree with you on that.
Working federated app on the Fediverse today, if you can figure out how to use Emissary.
I've very much become I'll take any piece at this point, any of them, and let's worry about getting all those pieces together.
Can be the platform that would work for you. I don't know what that QR code is. Oh, that's my Mastodon. So if you'd like to connect on Mastodon, please do so.
Then he goes into Q&A, but I want to listen to some other one. What do I got here? Friendica? Hidden in plain sight?
Right.
This is me.
Excellent. So we have now a session on Friendica. Thank you, Tobias.
Well, thank you.
Esoteric programmer certificate authorities have gone away. That's already happened before. We had to actually, God, what was it, like 10 years ago? there was a big one that was going away, and everyone's like, we got to make sure we have our certificate signed. And everyone's like, we never had certificates through there. We have our own CA. But okay. So it has happened. You got to go get new certs. Firefox, I think it was, specifically was announced because a CA got hacked, that they were completely removing them and blocking them, to the point where the CA folded because Google was like, yeah, no, that's kind of crap. Oh, does it happen quite regularly? See, I didn't know that. And that's what it is. It's trust. Sorry.
Very much for having me here again. So, who am I?
It depends on who it impacts, Logal, is why.
I'm on the Fediverse since 2008. I'm one of the last stray Laconicats. I am in the Friendica core development team since around 2010, when I thought about setting up Diaspora and failed miserably, but then discovered that the Friendica software stack is that easy that even I would manage to use it. I funded the Berlin Fediverse meetup 2012 or something, and
I mean, and you know that it is a good one because it's honest Ahmed.
Think about organizing a conference in Berlin, and we will have the third Fedi Day in Berlin this year. And in my day job, I'm system administrator at the Free Software Foundation Europe, which happens to be the 25th time at FOSDEM, and it happens to be also the 25th year for the Free Software Foundation Europe. If you like the fight for
I'm happy you finally learned something new.
Want to support us, it would
have a great one, Lafracto.
If FSFE would not get at least 25 new supporters. If you are not yet supporting, please scan that QR code and get a badge. Get a badge, yes. We will set that up. So, what is Friendica? Many people compare Friendica with Facebook, being the Facebook alternative on the Fediverse, and we started to be that back in 2010. I deleted my Facebook account 2012. I have no clue what Facebook is looking at the moment, so if you say so, I'm happy with that. I cannot really judge. What we are is a decentralized social communications platform linking to other independent social networks like the Fediverse, but also to some corporate services like Tumblr, we have X integration, and we even had Facebook integration when it was still possible. We have a nice homepage. We have split our code identity between GitHub and our own self-hosted Git instance. We are running on PHP.
Anyone here ever tried Friendica?
7.4.
I've never tried it.
It's basically Debian old stable most of the time that we are still supporting, and you need MariaDB. And yeah, if you haven't seen my talk from last year, please scan that other QR code. You will end up on that page and can rewatch the entire presentation there. The other question, who is Friendica? It's a relatively small team, so Mike McGovern started Friendica 2010, and then the next 4 persons are basically the core development team.
Oh, that's right. Friendica didn't start out as ActivityPub, did they?
Who sits back there, so if you have any technical questions, he has to answer that for you. Hippolyte and Philip are mostly working in the back end, and over the last year, Marcus and Arthur joined working on front end and back end stuff, and I'm really happy that they joined. But not only they joined, but in total some 20 new people arrived on the credits file, which I just regenerated. And if you have seen the last year's talk, you know that slide already. And the only new addition is the last line, because 2025 we didn't have any release. And that didn't just make Fluxy confused. Many people ask, what's going on? And the image is too large, I don't know. There it is. So what's going on? My daytime job correlated with experiences on my little home server with kind of DDoSing many services that I'm partly maintaining. There were a lot of LLM scraping, swarms, harvesting everything. And they did not only harvest data, they also drained a lot of motivation to just turn off on the computer.
That sucks.
So I spent many days not looking on my computer. And now the next image is not showing up. Great. There it is. But I was helping many people to use their old hardware just a little bit longer by just replacing the one operation system by another operation system, because Microsoft decided to end the support for Windows 10, and many people got annoyed to have to get a new one. So in Berlin we ended up with a bunch of workshops with the good old Linux restore party.
I like how that was like one dude clapping, everyone's like, is that okay here?
Okay.
Was that
Is
that allowed? He's not getting in trouble.
And then
Yeah.
Fediverse Diplomatic Corps called and asked me to do something like a presentation and a workshop every month or so about the Fediverse. So I ended up spending the rest of my time for that kind of stuff. And Sandra already told.
We're allowed to say that out loud now? Is that?
earlier today,
Yeah. Windows sucks. Yeah.
more people doing outreach for the Fediverse. Yes. And it's not only giving talks and conferences and stuff, it's just like I've seen something interesting on the Fediverse. Just keep it in the mouse, talk about the Fediverse, and people will
talk about
ask you, hey, and what is it Fediverse thingy you are talking about? And then you can tell them the story of decentralized social networking. Okay.
I love him.
Other
I
people
love that.
like Michael and the other contributors were active, working on Friendica, putting things together, and I managed, thanks to FOSDEM, thanks to you guys to inviting me, to have a release ready for FOSDEM. So, in the last year, we got improvements for the front end, mostly in the Frio theme. We also improved the screen reader compatibility, and we improved our Mastodon compatible API, so you can use almost any Mastodon client with Friendica and be happy. We overhauled the embedding stuff of things people post elsewhere so that it's now actually working. And we also overhauled the add-on integration stuff, so should you have written an add-on for Friendica and it's not in the main repository for add-ons, then you might need to update your code. We improved some of our supported fabs, and as people always ask, hey, you're the Facebook on the Fediverse, right? Where is the Facebook chat? It's now back. So it's based, the add-on is based on Converse.js, I think, and we now finally have a web chat again.
And not only do they have web chat, but they can add in encryption, and it's end-to-end.
Made progress last year while I was fighting bots and stuff. Most important for me, the most important feature for me was already introduced in 2023, which is user-defined algorithms. To be honest, I really hate if we are promoting the Fediverse as being a place without algorithms. I know what we mean by that. I know that it's kind of true, but I really would love to see more places where people can define their own algorithms to sort the view on timelines.
You can't on bonfire. He's not
Michael
wrong.
spent a lot of time into improving our channel feature
But it's,
and improving
what's the
performance
payoff?
of that feature.
I think is the problem.
So it's just brilliantly fast. I think on my Raspberry home server, the channel view loads in 2 seconds or something, which initially took something like 30 seconds, and you had to wait to see postings in there.
Yeah, that'd be way too long.
So, 2026, what are we planning to do? Well, actually, Friendica does not really plan anything, so the sky is the limit, and we will see at the end of the year. But we want to make it really easy for node admins to import the server block lists by IFTAS, because I think they do a really great
we need
job
to set
there.
up ways to
I'm
automatically
so sorry that you
pull in
just
blocks.
a couple
You
of
define the
years
block
early.
you want.
I really hope that we get IFTAS and
Sasha.
IFTAS run.
Hey.
Michael want to
No,
look
ma'am, come
into
here.
Blue Sky integration just a little bit more than we actually do already.
Pork.
We want to have more improvements for the
Solid.
accessibility
Sorry,
of
Solidarian.
Friendica. And during doing the release, we realized that parts of our toolchain need maybe some switching, so that will be something happening
Sasha,
in the
come.
background.
Yeah.
And I promise that there will be more releases than last year. If you want to get involved, just do. We are pretty open. The core developers are really friendly and really helpful and spend a lot of time explaining why we did something the way we did. In the repositories, we have a tag for...
I like how there's become so many armchair developers. Well, I wouldn't have done that way. I'd done it this way.
I love to see
Yes.
more
Discuss
translations
that.
of Friendica. I love to see more people
here's why.
working on the small edges of our
I do the same
web
thing,
front
though.
end. I like to
Such a
see
dumb way to
more
do it.
people
Why they do
working
it that
on the
way?
accessibility.
Well, they had to because of this. Oh
If
yeah,
you
what a
want
smart way to
chat
do it.
With us, we have
Yeah.
3 community chats that actually are one because they are bridged all together, and the discussion either happens in the issue trackers or actually within Friendica.
Yeah,
because
and it's
we have
always
groups and
it's always like when there's an emergency, right? Like a server's broken and you're like, "Oh, well, I got to do it this way to get in." And then you go that way and you're like, "I can't get in. It's not working." Oh, that's the problem. Like you ended up here because of this choice you made, and now I can see that's such a problem. It's like, we never knew that was going to be a problem. It's been running for 5,000 days and you hit it once. I just make ideas. Solid hair, and so do I. Say hi to Logal. Oh my god, I realized my desktop. It's you can hear me in echo, why can't you? Why can you? Oh, that's why. Yeah. There, now you can't hear me. Find. What? What? Oh, no, there was no echo? Oh, well, looked like it was echoing. Because it was coming through my mic and then it was also coming through the desktop audio. Did I fix that? No, I didn't, because now you can't hear anything.
save some dates, please. If you are remotely part of the Friendica community and you like fries, let's meet tomorrow at 2
What do you want?
and go down to Fragley to get some fries. Then an offspring in Germany, we have the Fedi Camp, which is great, which is somewhere in the nowhere of Western Germany. Living in Berlin,
I think we're done with that
it's
one.
kind of a long travel, and we decided to, okay, we can try that somewhere.
Next video. Actually, I need to go make my kids some food, so be back again. 10, 15 minutes maybe. All right, I'm back. Okay. You can hear that, but also that one's too long. I only have a couple of minutes left. Definitely not that one. There's some shorter ones in here, I swear. Oh. Okay, so we'll do this one. Which one is this?
I'm James. I'm going to talk about something that's been mentioned a couple of times today already, but I'm glad to be able to give more detail, which is Fediverse Fediscovery, or the Fediverse Auxiliary Service Providers, known as FASPs. I don't really know why I named the talk this. Naming is hard, basically. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Fediverse Discovery Providers, which was a project that was launched, I think, in the dev room last year, if I remember rightly.
It was talked about last year. Yeah.
Talked about last year.
That's fine.
And then
leave it at that.
through the year it's been sort of built. And why am I talking about it? I am not involved in the project at all. It is an NGI search project run by Mastodon and capably done by David down there. Give everyone a wave. There we go. I am just some guy who read the spec and thought I'll have a go. Why I thought I'd have a go? I built a thing called Manifold, which is, as Andy said, it is a tool for organizing and sharing 3D print files. Anyone with 3D printer will know about Thingiverse. It's a bit like having your own one of those, but now also it federates with ActivityPub, so you can have 3D models on one instance, and you might have your account on another, and how do you find them between different things is the problem. So there was this Fediscovery thing, and I thought, all right, let's see what that's all about, because I don't want to build my own. So Fediverse Auxiliary Service Providers are these extra services that sit and connect to your Fediverse services. So we have various things, like it could be Mastodon, it could be PeerTube, whatever. And then you have the search provider instances, for instance, that you might choose to connect to that one over there that's run by somebody I know, or that, you know, it might be another one. So it's sort of opting in to a shared search index in a way. And not just for search, it's starting with search, but I'll come to that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how it works, show you how we did it. There's the first thing that you do is that you register your
I don't have a clue what this is. I don't have any comment on this out there.
The service provider. And you do a little registration dance. You initially go to the FASP and sign up for an account, and you tell it where your server is. It then does a bit of back and forth, gets the provider info from node info, does a little bit of key exchange backwards and forwards, and then says, yep, okay, we've talked, and shows you a fingerprint of the keys that are involved, and then redirects you back to your own server.
This is DNS.
Where you check that fingerprint, make sure that everything is lined up properly, and you say,
for search.
Yes. Okay, cool. So this is that in action. This is the sign-up page on the Fediscoverer reference implementation, I guess, of a FASP. This is the one that David built, and that I'm running my own of, but you would find one of these out and about. You sign up for a thing, you say, there is the base URL of my service, and it does the little dance, and it says, right, you're registered now. Thanks for signing up, here's your fingerprint. And because it's talked to the server, it knows where to send you back to in order to then go back and check. So it will then click that, send you back to Manifold, you can check that fingerprint, and hit the big green approve button. And at that point, you're connected up. Your two servers know about each other. They can securely exchange information. They know how to tell what's what. And you get then this list of capabilities. There's the overall protocol is about the registration and how you discover what's available. And then there are sort of mini specs within that for different capabilities, which you can see here.
Actually need to see if Bonfire
recommendations, trends, and data sharing. Those are the ones that initially are in the thing at the moment. Most of those are really simple. They're actually just, okay, you're registered now, you can do calls to this thing, and account search is just a get to the account search thing with your keyword. Simple as that. Likewise, follow recommendations. Follow recommendations, you can give it an account URI, so it's like, who should this person follow? And if the FASP is able to do something with that, it will. Likewise, trends, it's just a thing. The one that's a little bit more complicated is data sharing. The top ones are all sort of fetching information from the FASP, but how do we tell it what we've got? That's the data sharing part. The data sharing capability, if you enable that, the FASP will send back a request saying, okay, could you let me know about these things? And it will set up event subscriptions for different things. In this case, it's sent back 2 subscriptions back to Manifold to say, right, could you tell me when any lifecycle events happen for any account or any content on your server? So now it's up to my server to respond to those and let the FASP know when those things happen. Of course, that is in control of my server, the client. Cool.
It's exactly how an
quick
ActivityPub
example.
message works.
This is in my dev manifold instance. I can go to my little search page, and I can put in a search term, and up pop some results from a different server. And all it's done is just go to the FASP, ask for the results for that keyword. So we have, these are all from 3dprint.social, which is the not really flagship manifold server, but the one that I run publicly, where people can sign up and post their own things. Flagship makes it sound a bit too grand. But yeah, they're there, and then there you go, you found them. And also you have follow recommendations that you can set up at the moment in FedDiscoverer. No preview, so it's not very pretty, but at the moment you will be recommended to follow
So
me,
basically
and that's on
like
my personal
search indexes.
So again, that's a
Wonder if
system.
a route of monetization would be
all fit
like,
together.
you know, basically kind of like, I think of it like antivirus. People pay for an antivirus. If you say, hey, you know, for $2 a year, we'll guarantee that connecting to this specific one that we moderate and curate will only give you, say, family-friendly content or something like that. And then you'd have to moderate those coming in. With Willion, there was a time where people did. I don't know why. FedDiscovery.org. This one I have watched. I didn't understand it the first time, though. No, I didn't. You didn't need the summary. All right, I gotta go. Let me know if folks actually found this interesting, useful, what have you. I will catch everyone tomorrow for Fireside Fetty. I think at noon. UTC -5. We're gonna be talking to Hannah Aubrey And then the next day, we're going to have Scott Jensen take 3, hopefully. And the day after that is Joe Resling, I think his name was, which is Late Night Linux, I believe it was called. So yeah, we have those coming up. And then I have to talk to Logal, but I'm thinking Sunday morning might be our very first worksonmymachine.live. You can check that out at WOMM.live if you want, or worksonmymachine.live, where I'm going to follow the docs, see how I can break an app while the developer is on the call with me, and we can talk about the application and the features and its usability and whatnot. So, yeah, you guys enjoyed it. I will catch you all next time. Have a good one.